And away we go.
Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the TARDIS. And tonight, I thought what we'd talk about is, because I've been promising to do it for a long time, so I finally got around to doing it. A lot of you had asked about how I make the videos, where I get the information and stuff, so I thought I'd real quick run you through the one I did today. A real short one on ODK, which used to be Odaka, and it was a short-lived Japanese company that made the several models, including I have one of their PT boats that Mr. Hamilton gave me, and that XP50 I built was marketed by Odaka, although it was originally a Midori kit. So, and as you can tell, we're having a little weather here today. I was going to go out and get some more drone footage, but I'm not sure that's going to happen. Unfortunately, partly due to the weather, and also I started brushing up to go back to work, I did not get anything done in the shed today. This is the first time I've been out here. And as soon as I'm done here, I'm going to go inside and start editing. I did get some video work done though, and hopefully I'll drop the Odaka video tonight or tomorrow. So first step obviously is doing research. Now I do have a lot of books. There are a lot of great books written on Airfix, Revell Monogram. There's the books by Graham. There's the books on Frog, and a lot of these companies. There was a good book written on Eschi. Some of them I have. Some of them you're able to actually find. The books are online, and so that's a good source of information for major companies. But when you get into the obscure companies, you're down to looking at websites, anything from Modeling Madness to Old Model Kits for any information on builds about them. Old Model Kits often has little brief histories. I got some of the information on Odaka Sangyo from them, and they had some information on UPC when I did that video. The Universal Power was Power Master Corporation. Anyway, then of course ScaleMates is a good resource, though it's not perfect. But for example, on the ODK kits, they had about 19 kits listed, but I found a few others. Sometimes places like eBay and WorthPoint, these online sales sites, will you'll find one for sale there, and somebody might have a kernel of information. You get these little nuggets here and there, and you try to piece it together and put together a cohesive story. So that, on a smaller company like this, that's kind of how that goes. And once in a while, you'll get lucky and you'll find somebody who knows something about it. When I did the Sterling video, I was able to find some somewhat dedicated websites that had some history information in there. And actually today, during that long live stream we did, someone knew one of the people who'd worked there for a long time and sent me a phone number. But I apologize, I'm getting ready to go back to work. I have just been really busy. So in fact, I actually brought my iPad. I thought, well, I'll just show them some of the stuff I study. I don't know if you'd be the least bit interested in that, but I'll show you real quick later, and then you can decide if you want to fast forward to that part or not. Then once I get the video together, of course, I have that nice new microphone that my wife got me, which and I have a pop blocker in front of it. And John Kidd had told me another thing is you can always put your finger like this, and it helps break up when you pop, that kind of sound right there. Well, so a way to keep the popping sound down. But I record it. I use Pinnacle 23 from Avid. It's okay. It's not expensive. It's probably $150, $180, and it's an incredibly capable software package, but it craps out a lot of them constantly. It's constantly, if you start moving the mouse too fast, it'll just lock up and shut itself down. So I'm constantly restarting it. So take the good with the bad. Not the most robust software, but it is very capable, although it can be right aggravating at times. Aggravating, I say. Once I get the first thing obviously is the research, and after the research, then you have to write the script. And when you write the script, and you go back researching stuff, and then you get pictures from wherever you can. And fortunately, there are 4 websites I primarily get photographs from, and I got permission from them. That's ScaleMates, Old Model Kits, the Box Art Den, and Hink of Holland, Hink 3000. They have a lot of history on those things, a lot of great information. The Hink, that website also. You see, I always put the card up at the end with all 4 of them listed with their websites. if I use any of their stuff, I just put all 4 of them up there because I don't want to risk missing anybody. If I do one completely with my own material, then I don't put it up there. Although I still recommend you go see the sites. The music, I use a lot of royalty-free stuff. Of course, the Dreamberry 2's recorded a bunch of songs for me. And a lot of people ask about the music. It's just scouring the internet, YouTube. I've had a couple of videos taken down because the stuff was copyrighted, so I had to re-upload them without the music, or they were banned in certain countries, and I would re-upload a second version. It'll say usually no music. You can use karaoke. Sometimes you guys, I know it's not as cool to use a karaoke version or something, but fair use is very limited. Now, a lot of times what happens when I use copyrighted music is they just simply go, you cannot monetize this video. Well, I don't monetize this channel. This is a labor of love. Perfect. That's one reason I don't want money to get involved with what I'm doing here, is because I want to keep my artistic freedom. I don't mean to sound like I'm an artist I say, but I do. I want to be able to do what I do. Now, one of the things that I have to do after that is try to pick a song that maybe goes with the general idea, preferably a parody song. I'm kind of running out of them. Sometimes it has nothing to do with it. Sometimes it has everything to do with it. When I did Nito, which was famous for making a lot of airliners, that's when I used Beat Up Old Jet Airliner by Bob Rivers, and that was perfect song for that video. Tom Daniel, perfect one, was a cover of Snoopy and the Red Baron song, because Tom Daniel most famous car was the little Red Baron tea bucket, and I have to be careful. I'm saying Tom Daniel's in the possessive. His name is Tom Daniel, not Tom Daniels. But of course, the possessive, Tom. I just want to keep that clear. And those of us who know him get to call him a TD. Anyway, and a little bit of irony. TD and an Aurora executive that I got to speak to, they've both retired, and they've moved off to a remote area of the country. They both live within about an hour of each other. Only some of that part of the country is where, you know, all the kit model people go to retire. So anyway, just interesting little, totally non-important thing. So back to making the video. So once I get the script written, sit down, record it, which means I have to get half hour, an hour of quiet around my house. That's the real trick, because I have, the family's here and they have things to do. And I would record out here in the Tarbis, and I have done that on 1 or 2 occasions using just the lav mic and the phone, which actually not bad quality when you get right down to it. But there's nothing like sitting in front of it with that nice studio microphone and everything, and getting a nice record. Of course, sometimes a car drives by and the sounds of the street come in because it's at the front of the house. So sound, I don't have a sound booth, and sound control is a big deal. And you probably think, why don't I move it out here? Because it's on my desktop computer, all the software. And I actually was going to get another computer to put out here just for doing recording, but turned out the computer was an old one we had. Turned out it had gone south, so that wasn't going to happen. And I'm not going to schlep that one I've got now, my main computer, out here. So that's that. It's just the situation as is. But okay, stop whining, Max, and get back on track. So we've got it written. I've got the voiceover done. Now I match the imagery. I've picked my outro music. And now it's just a matter of editing it all together. Now this can take anywhere from 2 days for something that's short and the information's available and nothing's going on, and you just sort of put it together. Like when Sergey from Russia, the one on model building in Russia and on the Tupolev models, he sent me everything. He sent me a written script with pictures that were numbered, so it was literally paint by colors. I knocked those out in a day, maybe 2. But I mean, that was because he had done all the grunt work. And the actual recording and editing does take a while, but you're kind of over the hump. Once I've got the voice track down, which means the script's written, that's all done, and got to edit. And, of course, I'm editing out all of my, and then they, so what you're hearing, the original recording's probably twice that long with a lot of stuff chopped out. originally an Odaka kit. It was sold in a nearly identical box as ODK, and later, when the company, and was later released by Sharp after ODK ceased operations. And so then once that's together, it would just edit it, compile it, give it a watch. Looks right, everything's timed out good. Up to YouTube, and ding, you get the little bell. So like I say, it can take anywhere from 2 days to 2 months to put one of those together. And it is a labor of love. I do enjoy doing it, but it does consume a lot of time. Now, it consumes a lot of time, but I'm having a good time doing it, and I'm learning a lot. Then, after it's uploaded, and everybody gets to see it, that's when the real crowdsource begins. All of a sudden, I start getting messages. No, I knew this guy who worked there, and he said this, and or in a rare occasion, I actually hear from somebody who actually worked there. I'm like, where were you last week when I needed this? And in the past, I have actually said I'm doing a video on this company. So if you know anything about it, I was going to do one on the Japanese company Sharp, but I couldn't find out enough information. A lot of people asked about Peerless, which is also Peerless Max, and Peerless something else, Peerless Schreiber, which is basically the same company in 3 different countries. I think it was Peerless in one country, and then Peerless Max, and then was it England, and then there was Peerless in Japan, Peerless and Max in America, and Peerless Schreiber in Germany, or something like that. I forget, Europe. But and all they made about a dozen land-based models, all ground vehicles, and apparently they're really good. But I don't think they lasted that long, but I guess they had too small of a catalog. But a lot of people asked me to do them, and they're on the list, but I couldn't get enough information to make more than a 2-minute video. I mean, it was just, the story just wasn't that long. This one you're going to see on ODK is very short. Odaka is very short. So, those, you know, those are the pit. I spent a lot of time researching to get very little information. That's kind of sad, but it is what it is, right? So, anyway, so once it's up there, then people contact me back. And of course, that's how all this got started. I can't believe these daily videos. I still can't. You can't plan something like this. I literally was just drinking my coffee one day and just held the camera and gave everyone the nostril cam while I yammered on about something. And all of a sudden, for reasons that elude me, people actually listened. It's like, okay. And so I did them every morning for a while. And the folks were like, yeah, you should do one after hours. It's like, okay, you know, and I hear it in the shed building models. When I close up, I'll set everything up and make a chat for 5 minutes, no big deal. And then we started recently doing the live streams, which I was so leery about doing, because if I say the wrong thing or do the wrong thing, I mean, it's just, you know, there's no pulling it back on a live stream. That bullet has left the barrel. And now that, of course, now that I've actually gotten to the point where I was thinking, you know, I could invest a little equipment and set up something really kind of cool, it's time to go back to work. In fact, since we're on that, I'll just reach over here and this is my company iPad, which all of my training material is on. And this is the kind of piloty stuff. I don't know if you can see that or the crap, but you have to remember, when you fly, everything is structured. FMS speeds, that's the flight management system. When you have the computer actually controlling your speed, instead of manually dialing the speed in, you program it into the computer and the airplane flies it. Practical example, flaps for takeoff. You can change defaults to suit operational needs. For example, if departing underneath Class B airspace, you can set 200 knots to ensure compliance with the speed limit. Things like that. And departure speed mode, and a lot of this, oh my gosh, reading a METAR and a TAF, a meteorological aerodrome report and a terminal aerodrome forecast. And they're all encoded because the FAA still thinks everybody uses 300 baud modems. Telling them my age, right? Who knows what this sound is? So in the days of the old low baud modems, they would send everything where every character ate up space that was important. They would contract everything. It just became the way they did things. Now, you can hit a button and get on a modern computer and it'll spit everything out in plain English, but when it's printed out for us, it's still printed out on the paper in the encrypted form, and I'm kind of like, you're almost like learning a second language. Review the basic flight management system concepts. Does the FMS navigate to or from a point? The E190 FMS always navigates to, never from. What does the yellow number mean? That is the from waypoint. What about the pink waypoint? That's the to, and you see everything's kind of color-coded on there. And this is pretty basic FMS stuff, and oh man, things have changed so much so quick lately. It's a full-time job just staying on top of all the changes. But flying the airplane's actually the easy part. So I'm not complaining though. I got into it for a couple hours today, and it slowly started to, well, actually fairly quickly started to come back. And I really have to have this down cold, because when I go to training, I mean, they expect, I'm a 15-year veteran pilot on this airplane. Even though I've been out 6 months, they expect you to jump in and start doing things right from the get-go. And no pressure. So everybody gets some anxiety about the evaluation process. But enough of that. That's my problem. That's where they pay me the big bucks. So anyway, that's that. Like I say, didn't do anything here in the shed. Had a wonderful, gosh, 2 hour and 9 minute live stream, guys. I just really appreciate you guys tuning in, and of course, since I had the iPad up with it going, I could actually see the comments today. So we're kind of getting a system here. Now, of course, like I said, tomorrow night's the last regularly scheduled show. I'm going to be face down, elbows up in the books for a while. I don't know when you'll see me again. Maybe I'll get a lull and crank out something real quick. But you know, job's got to come first. But the channel's not going dark, all right? Just a little dim. Okay, and I'm sure somebody is making a wisecrack at my expense right now, but that's okay. I just walked right into it. So I can't tell you guys not only how much fun this has been, not to mention how surprised I am by it all, but also that we're having a good time. I mean, there's no pressure. I don't care if you put your airplane together with tape and color it with crayons, as long as you're having a good time. That's what this is about, and this freaking vacuum cleaner is driving me nuts. You know, the minute this stops being fun, ain't none of us going to do it anymore, because that's what models are for. I mean, yes, there's history and there's all this, and I like to pay due respect, but, and for the guys who do the museum quality work, God bless you. That's part of the beauty of this whole thing, is you can do it the way you want to do it. You can make a mirror of life accurate to the last detail, or you can make this, you can paint a World War I airplane like a psychedelic school bus. It's whatever you want, as Bob Ross would say. It's happy accident. It's your world. You make it how you want. And so I think, I mean, I just love stuff, but sometimes it's as much fun just to get a box of broken parts and see what you can make out of it. It's like a big puzzle. And I just wish more kids would get into it. That's my lament. You know, create something, kids, something you can hold in your hand and go, I made that. But of course, with a lot of us, it's as much nostalgia as anything else. I'm just glad it never got old. And by the way, some of you guys have shown me some of your work, and I'll probably, enough pictures have trickled in, I might throw up another short viewer build video when I get a chance. But who was to send me some pictures of the Spitfire he just did, and he'd been laid off for 25 years. Like, man, I've been building constantly for 15 years. I can't make one that good. You really piss me off sometimes. That was nice work. Welcome back to the build. And other than that, guys, just remember to keep it fun. You know, we're only spinning around the sun for so many orbits. Let's enjoy them, all right? Well, thanks for coming out to chat with me tonight, and I will see you guys in the morning for some coffee. And remember, 4 p.m. tomorrow is the planned live stream. I don't know how long it's going to be. I'll bring my charger out in case, well, I don't think we'll run the phone battery down, but we'll just go as long as it goes. And I hope everybody can tune in. I picked that time because I figured it was probably easiest for everybody. Folks in Europe haven't gone to bed yet, and folks on the West Coast won't have to get up early. And for those of you who are on the other side of the globe, sorry. I can only do what I can do. But if you miss it, hey man, no worries. Like, remember, it's all in fun. I'm thrilled that we've gotten as much done as we have. And you guys have made me sit down and build some models too. No more slacking. And okay, that's enough for tonight. I want to thank everybody once again. We'll see you for coffee in the morning. Bye-bye, guys. Oh no, it's Globzilla! Dun 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 dun, blah, blah.